Well, hello there, everybody. It is Taco Tuesday. And if you don't like tacos, well, make it Italian Tuesday. But anyway, thank you for being a part of this journey. Thank you for tuning in, turning on, and being part of the conversation. Because as y'all know, we always got a good conversation going on. And as I hit the button here, that's really just me pulling out of the park. Yeah, that's where we hang out during the day, or maybe sometimes at night. But anyway, welcome everybody. Thank you again for being here. We just speak favor to you. You are
Mhm.
favored. And as we like to wrap it up, just always say nothing missing, nothing broken. This is Tuesday, so it is a second look. You know who I am, and my lovely co-host, Miss Trina Phoenix. How are you, dear?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I keep telling people this any better, I'd be guilty, but yeah, it's never that innocent. Love that line.
I know.
I
It's a good
do.
one.
It is
It's
a
a
good
good
one.
one.
We hope
Yeah.
Jenny will be here soon.
Yeah.
You know, lots of changes going on. Hello, everybody in the chat room. There's Jenny. There was Jenny. I feel like I'm being
Still being
whiplash.
her. Yeah. Still
Wow.
getting.
You know. So, hello, Lost in Space. And Nina, good to see you. Deborah, how's the husband? Good to see you, dear. And Lady Ellie and Anne, good to see you. Annie, I guess I should say. And let's see, Stephanie Marie, voiceover. Jet is here, Lost in Space, brother. Good to see you as well. Street Mom, Linda's here. How are you, darling? Good to see you. Dave Sullivan, good to see you. Colleen, excellent researcher. How are you, dear? Jap, Glenn, hello. Fireflies in the Lighthouse from Houston, Texas, back in
Not
my regions. So welcome. Yeah, way back in the day. I'm talking 5 decades ago. Hard to
yeah.
imagine, but anyway,
No, right?
uh, Greg Panos the third, all the way from Colorado.
Oh,
Greg, by the way, Greg does a radio show down there in southeast Colorado near Pueblo. So, and then we got a number of people who actually listen from southern Colorado. So, and
right
then we
on.
have Gilbert. Gilbert is from Denver. So, and by the way, Gilbert, I'm going to download. He sent a picture of his. He's got a hot rod girls that are just fantastic. Anyway, I'll wrap it up with saying hi to Gaia. She says, I got an appointment, but I'll be listening. Well, okay, Jackie J. And there is Miss Jenny. She's Jenny to me. Someone said, well, her name says Ren. I know,
That's
but
just
I am grandfathered in. You know, when it's like when you make a new covenant, new contract, you grandfather those things that, are exempt from that. So there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jenny, how you doing, hon?
Okay.
I'm all right. The internet was in and out, but we shook it and it's working. So it's getting worse here. The internet should be getting better. It's getting worse. Um,
Mm.
I think there is funkiness going on around there. And I'm not saying people like Russia or anyone else that would be messing with it, but hello, China, because I'd never not come from my lips, but yeah.
Right.
it's the Wild West. I think it is.
And
The
thinking on
service
this,
should have actually
totally,
been better as far as technology goes. But
she is kind of cutting in and out, isn't she? A
A little bit.
little bit.
Mm.
Jenny, I think
oh
it's
yeah, I'm losing
the
you again.
demon in the internet.
Cast that thing out.
Yeah. We're going to read a paper later this week on that whole thing. Someone's in my research, I came across this, and this guy is convinced, absolutely convinced, that there are life forms, entities. They exist in this thing we call the internet, data, light speed and exchange of that. These beings, they're of a high intelligence, but they feed off of that. And that's how they travel from planet to planet when they see a planet that's evolving to connect, because apparently that's what everyone in the universe wants. And then they inhabit this. and they dictate the terms and how things are perceived. Anyway, I don't know. I digress. Interesting theorem, though, isn't it?
Very interesting.
Because he
That
points
I
out
got.
that these beings, um, because if you got the internet in your house, it means you got Wi-Fi, or, unless you're directly hooked up, and this is how they feed. So
Interesting.
The
I taste
vampires,
like
all right.
chocolate, because life is
Tuesday.
like a box of chocolate. But
Yeah, the
You never
loose.
know what you can get.
or I could be that cheeseburger. I don't know. I don't eat many cheeseburgers, but cheeseburger in paradise. Sorry, ladies. I can do this all day long. I mean, in my head, it's going. The records are spinning,
All the
and
jingles.
and then if you wait long enough, I'll actually get you a chocolate malt, some fries, and a burger if you like that as well. I
Sorry,
always
I
I
do
say
was
like
feed
that.
them and let them go full and happy, right?
Yep. I'm like, I do
yeah.
like that.
It's
I
true.
do.
Millie's in
Mm,
the house, and Rick, how are you doing, brother? Speaking healing over you as well. So good to see you. And Monkey Experiment, how you doing? So, ladies, how's your week been?
good. Busy.
Good?
Hmm.
Nothing exciting? I mean, you didn't win a jackpot or, you know.
No, not this week.
Hmm,
Maybe next.
hmm.
Maybe it's in the post. I don't know yet. I'm not going to say no. Don't know.
Well,
But
Jenny, how's your week been? In England, y'all got a lot of stuff going down. Your Prince Edward seems to be a real piece of work, apparently. He's a real pain in the ass of his brother, from what I hear.
yeah, he just won't go away to the golf fields. I think they've tried to put him out to pasture so much. He's such a
That mule ain't
narcissistic.
going anywhere, right?
No. He doesn't even see what people hear or see. You can see in his spirit, he is so narcissistic. He's so arrogant. And they do give them their due, and I don't give any of them their due, but give them their due to an extent. They do keep trying to put him out to pasture, in the hidden fields of Wiltshire or wherever they want to put him, and he keeps coming back and thinking he can make this entrance. So goodness knows what's going on there. They're basically a dead entity, just waiting to be discovered.
And I hear Prince William, uh, what did I read recently? That Charles is apparently sick.
Yeah.
So that the word goes, where Kate is recovering quite well, responding. And
Mm.
what I read here was that Charles, and they were saying within the next 2 years, will be handing the crown, the throne, to Prince William.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll be earlier than that. But to be
I do
honest, you
too.
know more than me. I don't
Oh,
keep up
really?
with them at all. So I didn't really know that that was a headline. I didn't really know about Andrew, just I know that he is always as he is. He is always
Mhm.
Well,
narcissistic and
apparently he's
arrogant.
a
So
real pedophile. I mean, a real
well,
sicko.
there's no question. But there's no question about the king either. I mean, he was the one who brought Jimmy Savile into the equation, into the palace. There's no question of that. There's no question of that about the Queen Mother. There was charges out for her
Mhm.
and her
Oh,
husband, but it just was nobody would come down on it. Nobody would act
yeah.
on
Who's
it.
going to arrest the
Um,
queen? Like,
exactly. But
excuse me,
none of
madam.
them are. Yeah. It's a long generational talk about feeders. That's their particular essence that they get the thrills from. That it's no joke that they're all in on
Isn't
it
that what
somewhat,
Diana
or
got frightened about? And,
very
because
much so.
Harry and William are not from the same
Mm,
fathers.
hell no. And they try and say they are, but he looks
There
like
ain't no
the
way in hell. There is
yeah.
no way Harry looks like Charles. There's just no
And
way.
Harry looks so like one of
The captain.
Joseph's
Uh,
hands. Yeah.
yeah,
The
Hans. Yeah. What was his last
yeah.
name?
So he was always around the horses with her. Things go on at stables. I'm just saying,
Happens all the time. I
happens
lost my
all the
second
time.
virginity in a stable. That's all I got to say.
People say a square
Yeah, I
of
had two
hay and think
virginities, but
what to do with
anyway.
that. I know how to lie on that. So I'm sure of it because things go on at stables, but he's definitely his. But yeah, I'm only saying this mostly historical and can put it to date because they've never changed. Other than that, I haven't seen a headline about them for about a year
Oh,
because I
it's
just don't look.
it's it's always in the mainline press here, Jenny. I mean,
Is
that
it?
yeah,
Isn't
yeah. I
that
mean,
crazy?
Charles has evicted his brother and Andrew. Apparently they're cutting him out, so he doesn't get his $2-3 million a year. Jeez, what the hell's
Yeah, he
wrong with
gets
you
plenty
people?
of other things though. That
Yeah,
was
you
just 2, 3
taxpayers over
million or
there send
something.
the royals like, 80 million a year. I mean, what the hell's up with
And
that?
plus, because nearly all of the car parks in the UK actually can be tracked back to the likes of Prince William. So all of these car parking fines that people are getting daily, workers, working class, hospital workers getting fines. It's a terrible problem over here for parking. Most of those are actually privately then owned by the prince, the king, the so-called queen in place now. And so, and then the king owns talk about why he's into green energy and windmills, because he loves having those out in the sea because he actually supposedly owns a portion of the seabed.
Of course.
So it's, no surprise that he's all up for the green agenda that isn't really green, because he then gets a subsidy from all of us taxpayers privately also to pay for us to have wind farms in the North Sea that we didn't ask for. So yeah, go royal family.
We had the Biden, so we understand.
Yeah,
But
yeah, they're
it
the
is
same.
interesting on the world scene that there is the old generation, you had the greatest generation, then you had the boomers, and they're being pushed out. I mean, the millennials are coming in and Generation G, or the next gens. I mean, things are changing. I've often wondered when I
Yeah,
read the story about William, because, they sent him to meet Trump when Trump went to Notre Dame for the celebration there. And I thought that was really interesting that William was representing the UK in a state's
yeah.
capacity. And I told my wife, I said, they're setting him up, they're grooming him, preparing him to actually step into this role. And it's going to be interesting. Y'all haven't had someone that young in the monarchy for hundreds of years, is what I was reading. I think Queen Elizabeth
Well,
maybe came in, right?
She was,
it doesn't.
yeah.
She was really young, but it doesn't matter really. None of them have held a sword for how many centuries? I mean, it's not as if we need them young. They could be as old as time, and they're useless. They do nothing to protect kingdom and country. So to me, it matters not. The guy's never held a sword in his hand. So yeah, but he is a younger monarch coming in. Um,
Well, that will always bring change, I think. I'm just assuming. Who knows? Maybe the freaking curse on
going to
them just,
bring profit. It's going to bring
hey, look who it
corporation.
is.
Hi,
Hey,
Theo.
Theo, how are you, my friend?
yeah,
Good to
yeah,
see
we're
you.
good. Oh,
God, he's getting so big.
He is. I
My
mean,
goodness.
when we started
uniform,
meeting Theo, he was just
Tiny. Uh-huh.
yeah, a short
Little
a
guy.
guy.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
think he was still sneaking some breast milk at that point. He was so tiny. He was so little.
Yeah.
But you're doing
Yeah,
good, aren't
yeah,
you? Yeah. Can I still
it's
sit on my
true.
lap?
What was that?
Just you're out of frame now on my lap. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say pretty well. It's going to be the other way around. It'll be too
Yeah.
heavy.
It's like, Mom, here, come sit on my lap.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll hold you up,
Exactly.
Mom.
You
Uh,
know.
uh-huh.
So he had
Uh,
his 10th birthday on Sunday just gone.
Happy
Um,
birthday, belated there, Mr.
Happy
Theo.
birthday, Theo.
so you had a great time, didn't what you say? Thank you. Thank you. What you
You're
say?
welcome.
It was a case of it went on all weekend because we went
As a birthday should.
in and then we had a tea party here, didn't we? Uh, And Aria crushed her toe, his little friend. She dropped a bowling ball on her little foot, and she's
Oh,
only 5. So
Oh,
thank
ouch.
goodness it was one of the lightest ones, but it was really nasty. But she was brave, wasn't she? And she trooped through.
did it break her
So
foot?
then we had a tea party. So I ended up buying 3 cakes for the weekend for all of the different people singing happy birthday. Just leave it, Theo, 'cause we're live.
Wow, and
Okay.
I've had birthdays where I never got a cake at all. Theo gets
Oh,
3.
well,
I
you
mean,
got that's depressing, yeah.
Lindsay says, hello, beautiful Theo. I love that name. Happy birthday.
Me too.
A lot of people sending you happy birthday there, Mr. Theo. Good to see you.
So get this, Trina, he's the last single digit baby. I've got no more single digit babies. He's into double digits. So he was 9, now he's 10. So there's no more
Yeah.
single digit babies.
No more.
And not that we're
No,
getting
not.
older, because, having kids will really show you how older you're getting.
Yeah, he keeps track of it for me. I keep saying, don't keep this reminding thing every year. This thing that keeps popping up, all of 3 of you getting
Yeah.
older. But yeah, so you had a cracking birthday, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
What do you think of the royal family, Theo? Like the king and queen? Yeah, if you want to talk about that, yeah. We're just talking about it. What do you learn about it? Scroll up in the chat. No, don't scroll up in the chat to see what people say. Okay, then I hate it. Okay, then I hate it.
Now that's a sign of high intelligence. It's like before I
That
talk, let's see what the
is,
crowd's talking about.
that's what he
Right.
said. He scrolled up and said, okay, yeah, I'll go with that. I would never enter into something you're not allowed to speak on.
Millie says
Go
her
on then,
daughter
go
was
next.
bowling at 18 months old. Wow, that's a prodigy.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
that's skill on her part to keep control of that.
yeah. I mean, way to go.
Bye.
Hi,
Is he
Theo.
gone? Hey, Theo, take care, buddy.
Okay.
All right, thank you. See ya.
Sorry.
No,
He's,
we love
oh, God,
Theo.
he's adorable. Love him. Yeah.
We could
I
actually make
cradled
it part
him.
of the show, a moment with Theo, you know.
Yeah. You
You
know,
know
it's so
you would get
funny.
some,
Sometimes when
yeah,
I'm feeling off or down or spun out, I literally use that child as an anchor to restore my vibration. My God, just be
yeah.
Theo. Just be Theo. Mm. Yep, all better.
Oh, Trina, he loves you. He loves you
I
both.
love him back.
And you're right, he's an absolute joy. He's an
He is.
absolute joy of a boy. He just brings light to it, It's a,
Mhm.
and the things he says, actually, it would be quite a good quote week if he put a quote in a week, because the things he comes out with are cracking, esoteric pearls.
Yeah.
And you think, oh yeah, that
He's
hit
still young
differently.
enough where he's tapped into that, and hopefully he'll
No
keep
tap.
that line open. Millie says, by the way, it was with her help, and I can see that. I can see right behind her pushing that ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
Mhm.
created that Jello
That's what I
mold
was
of,
saying.
of
This is like
wonder.
you can. I felt awful because a
Well,
kid got
Theo's
injured.
always welcome on here, so I think he knows that.
Thank
And
you. Yeah, yeah, he's just got to
yeah.
get washed and ready for bed.
And don't we all like being, now, do you tuck him into bed or do you just,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
it's still a
yeah,
story. Yeah, he still has his lamb he's had from being born, and it's still story time and cuddling, and he's still at that age. And I don't want to rush that because now Will, that's like kryptonite to Will now. He wants his own space when he's going to
yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be cuddled in. Whereas, so yeah, I'll take the cuddles for as long as possible. I don't mind that part of the job.
It
I'd jump
goes
in with
fast.
anybody. If anybody says jump in for a hug or a spoon, I dive in anyway. So the kids,
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I can honestly say I don't know what that experience is like. Never had that experience, but it has to be cool, you know.
It is.
Yeah,
Oh,
Different kind of love.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you
Yeah.
sing them songs like Soft Kitty? Soft
he,
Kitty, poor kitty.
I sing him songs, but he tells me off. He tells me not to sing. He's a much better singer than me, but we do, you know, we're allowed to sing in the car because he has the music on really loud.
Uh-huh.
But as far as singular symphonies from these vocal tones, is no, thank you.
And what is this particular genre of music?
80s, every
Good
all day of
taste.
the 80s music. So there's a radio station over here called Smooth Radio. And it plays some 70s, mostly 80s, and it'll go back sometimes into the 60s, but it's around about the 70s, 80s, and you know, like the whole everybody wants to rule the world and stuff
Tears
like
for
that.
Fear.
Yeah.
That really speaks to Theo. So he calls it real music, and I can tell what he
Mhm.
means. He likes the scratchiness of the
Hmm.
80s. He says these are his words, has more depth, has more meaning. Um, and he said it doesn't make his heart feel heavy. So even the sad songs that he likes from the 80s, it doesn't make his heart feel heavy. Whereas a lot of the um, modern songs, and he likes modern beats. He loves when he has a clever one, but there was just so much to choose from for him in the 80s compared to what there is for his taste now.
Hmm.
So he's definitely smooth radio gets put on
Is he a
every
George
time. He
Michael's fan?
loves George Michael.
Good. I
Anything,
knew it.
anybody, those velvety,
Yeah.
vocal
Grand
tones.
Rap.
He loves. I don't know how you would describe it. Trina would probably know what I'm trying to think in my head. Like the old cowboy saloon. I suppose like 50s vibe or songs about the 50s vibe in that space where you guys are. I don't know what you would
Marty
call that.
Robbins that comes like, El Paso. I mean, anyway, I grew up. Yeah.
Yes, things like that. So
Yeah.
that's whatever that is too. He really resonates with that. The
Cool.
saloon. I
Yeah,
don't know what
that's
you would
like
call it.
it's
You'll have to go on. What was that, Trina?
wasn't it like the original when rock and roll was just starting?
Oh,
Elvis
yeah.
Presley. This is
Yeah.
when rock and roll was
Yes.
kind of being
Yeah.
born, and you had jazz flavors in it, and you had all this different
Blues,
stuff.
you
Yeah,
know.
because we were getting out of the horns and the big bands and going more into rock and roll, and that
Yeah.
transition was beautiful, and it was life changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what you've just described, Trina. That's the sweet spot in that genre, whatever it is, that he really he loves. He hears
Yeah, we
that.
call it
Yeah,
the oldies around here, oldies classic, oldies, um, just basically oldies greatest hits. And, we were
yeah.
kind of starting to develop our genres for that kind of music back then.
Oh,
So,
it was
That makes
fabulous.
sense.
yeah,
It makes
yeah.
me think of like a fire pit, somebody drinking out of a metal flask, and cowboy boots. That kind of scene that the music sets, sunset
You
scenes.
ought to turn them
He
on
definitely.
to oh, I had the name of the band right there. How did that could I have
Since my
forgotten that?
proof.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
hey,
it was right there and then it was out. But all right, I'll have to remember that here in a second.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the mamas and the papas, and I bet he would love all that stuff.
Well, I was thinking, Jenny, turn them on to some Brooks and Dunn.
Oh
Write that
gosh,
down.
wow. Oh
I'll
wow.
write it down for him because he loves his music. It really
Yeah.
feeds his soul. If he's having a bad time, a good time, it's music for Theo.
one of my big breaks when I was working in Nashville at a post-production house
Wait,
is that
so John,
Brooks and Dunn,
Brooks and Dunn.
Brooks and Dunn, and um, their
Which is
first
the
song, "A Brand New Man,"
yeah.
and
Okay.
make sure you check out "You're Going to Miss Me."
Isn't Neon Moon on that too?
Neon Moon is on that
Oh,
first album.
I
Yeah, yeah.
love Neon Moon.
It was
Mm-hmm.
so cool. I was on the set when the film house was shooting that video with Brand New Man. It was, they were just coming out,
That's a
and
great song.
oh, it was. I got to meet them both, and I've seen them over a dozen times, and since then. But yeah, Theo will
Yeah.
like it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'll put that on for him. I'll put
Gilbert
that. You
says, a
know that.
hard-working man. Yeah, the thing about Brooks and Dunn, they were real men. I mean,
Yeah, they were.
yeah, yeah. And, Kix, I mean, and Ronnie, I mean, Kix was just he was a good-looking guy. What can I say? Elvis was a
Mm-hmm.
good-looking guy. George
Mm-hmm.
Michaels was a good-looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
George Michael was aesthetically beautiful.
he
He was there.
absolutely was. And his voice, is, when I was
Just as
recovering
beautiful.
from the meningitis and the Lyme disease, that album, Without Prejudice, and particularly with Cowboys and Angels,
I love
that
that.
song is, oh man. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-hmm. Cowboys and Angels. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Here we are. Well, and that's hidden knowledge. That's the title of it. Hidden knowledge leads to open understanding. So I can't
Mhm.
think of two better people to ask than you two, because I'd love to get your perspective. So when it comes to hidden knowledge and grimoires, do y'all read grimoires? Have you ever gotten into that, or is that just something you really
Yeah, I've got
see?
there's mine here. I've got all sorts of books like that I write myself. Um,
And Trina,
Yeah.
obviously,
sometimes
your bookshelf looks like, mine that cover the wall.
Yeah.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
over
I only
around
have
the
a couple, but I've watched a lot of information about it. I mean, most of the deep stuff, the deepest stuff I ever looked at, Wayne, was when you did the Solomon's Magic stuff.
Oh, that was deep. Yeah.
That was the most I'd ever seen on sigils and anything like that before. But I've been drawing those things since I was a kid.
Right. Now,
So
see, there's the connection in the pool.
right, it's like when I see these things, it's almost like I'm having a remembering. So, well, that's why I love to learn because I remember, it's just so powerful. And some things I remembered, I'm like, whoa, no, like something inside me is just like, whoa, be careful. It's like a remembering, and it's so beautiful because most of how I figured out the way my reality is operating is through those profound rememberings. And I think that's a key to what we're trying to do right now. Remember.
I'm becoming more convinced that if there was a prior life in which I'm assuming I had to have come out of that because, you
Yeah,
know,
probably.
I mean, I used to be called by the Christians, lots of nasty things. And now with a different audience and, different people who have a whole different outlook, it's like, people keep calling me a wizard. And I'm going, no, I'm just a share of knowledge.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
I
And
mean,
I'd say more than a wizard, a mystic.
I like that. Yeah.
We are. That's what we do. We're mystics.
When you
We're
said
living
that, I
out.
saw myself in this purple
Yeah.
robe with
Yes.
gold trim on it, and it had these sigils coming down. Anyway, when you said that,
Yes.
immediately,
See, a remembering. And
God,
it
there
was
you
just,
go.
yes, because I threw at you the word you associated with that image of yourself.
Now that's far fucking out.
Wow, right? Wow.
That's all I got to say.
Remembering. Wow.
Mm. Quickening.
Yeah.
It's the
Wow.
quickening of the spirit, is what it
Yes.
is. Yeah.
Because it's a remembering of
Mm.
who you are and the power that you hold. remembering.
So, Jenny, what were you
Yeah.
saying?
Uh, I can't remember now, but I do
I've
write
been there.
poetry
My
now.
Marshall Tucker band, by the way, was the band I was thinking on. If you want to hear some good cowboy music,
Marshall.
Marshall Tucker band. Yeah.
Mhm.
I love music. I was brought up with music. I was brought up with mum singing in tongues, speaking in tongues, singing songs. Like it was always my granny played piano, uncles
It's
played guitar.
Aerosmith, right? Does he know
And
Aerosmith?
he loves Aerosmith. Yeah,
Okay,
well,
so
that's
Why not?
Will.
Hamilton. I
Loves
Who
mean,
doesn't?
Aerosmith. Yeah, Will's really into Aerosmith right now.
yeah,
Cost
I
me a
like
fortune
Aerosmith too.
to get retro t-shirts of Aerosmith for him for his birthday. I was like, I
Yeah,
could have picked. Mom used to have these. She used to
that's
keep
right.
them, like from Grant. So I should have just kept a hold of them because now people are selling them, for. But it shows good music. It shows a good band. If the things that are getting old, and literally one of the t-shirts had holes in, and Will's response was, "But that's the character." And it says,
Sure.
"Yeah, I can take that." But they
Mhm.
literally, instead of them depreciating in value when they're getting
They're going up.
mothbitten, they appreciating. So that, because music like that keeps getting picked up again and again by the different generations, finding it again, finding that lost knowledge, finding that lost tune that resonates. And what I was going to say is Trina was talking as well to speak on that, is that literally everybody here is affected by or living by some sort of magic formula, equation, algorithm, grimoire, application of all of the above,
Religion.
or singularity. There's a lot of people who are influenced by it only without them ever consciously wanting to admit it, or even consciously being able to be aware enough, either emotionally or mentally, to admit to it. But they are actually the most influenced by it. And then there's groups of people who actually write grimoires, or who apply grimoires, or apply lost or known knowledge in different scenarios. So even the same formula within the same grimoire can create a different result for a different individual applying it in their way, in their experience, at their time, in their timeline. So everybody is actually living by some sort of magic, whether that's zeros and ones, whether that's sigils, whether that's geometry, whether that's phi. Literally, phi is symbology of life. It's the Fibonacci sequence. Everybody's living by that and influenced by that in every single thing they do, whether it's what they eat, whether it's what they drink, or whether it's what they read, or whether it's what they apply. There are some people that I'm glad they're only influenced by magic and don't know how to use it, because you look at that and you think, wow, what a dangerous weapon. Um, but then there's other people who you look at and you see the capabilities within them, but the conditioning's still there, that they can't quite truly know it. Never mind believe it, know it about themselves, that they've got this application of magic within them. They just need to find the equations that suit them, that speak to them and resonate with them. So that's what I was going to say.
As you
It
were
came
writing
back.
that, so I'll share some things with the group. The thing I was taught, and I love the fact that, it was never a mystery school, it was called a Bible school, but yet, as I look at it, it was heavily influenced into more of what we would call the mysticism side of Christianity, which is, if you studied it, it's something that has prevailed from the very beginning before Christianity. You have this mysticism that finds
Yes.
it. So I was told by probably one of the best teachers I know, Les Summerall, and he said that, and this guy was a wizard. Even though he preached the Bible and what have you, the dude was a wizard. I mean, no doubt
Yeah.
about it. It was like fucking Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah.
But so here we were sitting in this class, and he said, I'm going to bring something out that he says, and if you watch, you'll see that this is true. There are so many spirits on and in this realm and the other realm that each of us have a cadre of spirits. When you're born, you have a spirit that's attached to you. It can be called a guardian angel. It can be called a spirit guide, but they attach and they're assigned. But he said the reason why you'll see more people who become successful in things is that they either knowingly or unknowingly put the spirits to task. In other words, giving them something to do.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, he said, all right, so let me just throw this out to you. So after this life, ladies, and everyone in the
Mhm.
chat room, please put your in thoughts. So I went back in my notes and I came out. So I'm going to put this to you two since y'all share this platform. After your life, or what is this life here, what will your life be like in the afterlife? Are you going to have a house? What type of dress will you be looking for? Will you have a job? Will you be going to school? In what dimension are you anticipating awakening in?
Okay.
Deep, isn't
That,
it?
yeah.
And we had to
And
write
one
it.
of,
We had to write an essay on this, and I got to tell you, I struggled with it.
I
you
So
know
couldn't
what?
do that.
Go ahead,
To
Jen.
me, sorry, Trina, this internet, I don't, to me, I would struggle to say that because I definitely have anchor points that I'm already putting down, eggs, the spaces where I know I can go to, uh, that are my anchor points. They're like a navigational tool, the same way I do here. But to again to limit it a little bit, like you said, have you won the lottery or have you won a jackpot this week? And I said, I don't know. It might still be in the post because I struggle to know the infinite and the ineffable of me and the possibilities that I can attract in. I struggle to put limitations and glass ceilings on things as big as that. I think it can be good for some. It's just not doesn't work for me. It would be naive for me to think I could do that in spirit when I can't do that in this existence here. And I know I'm not doing it in the existences in other timelines that my fractals exist in. So there'll be other fractals of me still experiencing life as is. There'll be other fractals of me still experiencing spirit world as is. But as far as where I'll go, what I'll build, the only thing I'm really intentionally building, apart from the anchor points, is wisdom and knowledge and how to apply it in different time, in different frequencies, in different existence planes, because
Oh,
that's the only thing that I can see being progressive and infinite. As
do you
far as
put
who I'll
spirits
be.
to work? Do you ever task
Yes,
spirits?
absolutely. I put my own spirit to work. I put my own ancestral essence to work. I put literally the ancient DNA samples of me to work when I want to find out about a plant, when I call deeply to them. I call to the hordes of ancestors. And I'm not just talking about spirits that I've known in the family line that still we know the name of. I'm talking about, again, this infinite ancestral. I put the plant ancestors to work. I put the fungi ancestors to work. I put the tree ancestors to work. Animals alike. If I find a resonance that I can resonate with and work with, and I'm putting it to work, and it can put me to work as well. That plant can tell me to deliver its knowledge or to deliver it to somebody who needs it desperately. So yeah, definitely,
It's
definitely put
interesting
them to.
because in the West we don't think about this, where in the East it's much more commonly known. But in Eastern cultures, they will actually put their ancestors to work.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I don't know enough of my family to put them, I don't even know what to call them, much less put them on a task, or
you
much
don't
less
know.
would they
You don't.
want to.
Yeah, you don't need to know who they are, Wayne. It's
Oh,
in
No,
your brain.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's in you. The calling card to contact your ancestors is literally within you. It is literally you. There, it's so all you have to do is think it. They know who you are. So
I
it's
have
a
It's
found
ancient DNA.
the, I don't have a problem with putting angels or demons to task. I don't. I mean, if I was over on the other side, I'd want something to do. and they like me.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
like
And
them.
it
I
could be
speak
a big
favor over
loss.
them, you know? Yeah. I mean, but it's just curious to see. Jenny, were you touched by that, dear?
I was with a little bit, but
I
the
saw
Gnosis,
that.
it was the ancestor thing because
Yeah.
I could see the essence of the life that you're living and the life that you've lived within this lifetime. And for me, I look at you like a big brother, but I can see you through the visor of the intuitive visor that I have as a young boy. I see you through those different stages, and I do hug you like I hug Theodore. I do kiss you on the forehead like I kiss Theo, the same as I do Trina. I can feel, but I can feel you in that essence,
Betty,
and the big
what
little
if
sister
we
comes.
are? What if we are each other's ancestors? And that's
We
how
are
we found each
exactly,
other.
and Trina was so right when you said, what was it, Trina? Calling card. And I said about the ancient DNA because, yes, I understand and I don't take away from you. I kiss you on the forehead more than you know for
Yeah,
the
you do
lack that you
too.
had of love in this lifetime. But I actually smile at you as well with such an ancestral heart and an ancient heart when I smile at you and say, you are the ancestor, Wayne. You are the living embodiment of such ancient DNA that can recollect such ancient knowledge and apply it and teach it, which shows a great understanding because you can't teach shit unless you understand it. So you are actually able. So when you're calling on angels or demons and putting them to work, I think it's a label issue, a perspective issue, and a lens issue with you because of the lack experience that you've had in the mothering and fathering skills in this lifetime.
Yeah,
So,
I
but when
envy
I say,
Theo. I just gotta
oh,
be honest, dude.
yeah,
I mean, that's like Theo. How
Right.
freaking cool. I mean,
children,
I
talk
do
about
too.
yeah,
I envy Theo too. I do. I
yeah,
look at it, Jenny as the mom, and
yeah,
wow, it's my mom's wonderful, but and so are my dad. But different levels of wisdom teaching, plant teaching, love, unconditional. I mean, that's a radical, beautiful upbringing to be surrounded by
yeah.
that kind of love. It's powerful. But we've always had it. We just don't remember because we think we're who we are. We forget that we're so much bigger than this little fractal of our soul,
yeah,
and that
Oh yeah.
you, as this powerful soul that could encompass our universe within it, we forget that part. And that's the part of us that Jenny is my mother. And I am her mother. And
yes,
you are my father, Wayne, and you're my brother, and you're my son. We are
yeah,
that connected, but we just can't remember.
You know what I remember of my mother?
Huh.
Chasing me down the stairs with a butcher knife.
Oh crap. I had a belt, but hey, wow, yours is better. My brother did
And
that
then
though.
she put me in a mental institution, which, by the way, was the most far out fucking place. I loved it. It was, I mean, I got 3 meals a day. Every night at 8:30, they brought out the fucking dessert cart. I mean, and you know, for a kid that was 8, 9 years old, that was just, you know, it's like I
Far
cried
out.
when they took me out of the place. But anyway,
Oh wow.
I'd prefer to have, you know,
that
Theo's
routine.
memories. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But he's only got those memories, and they've got nowhere near what you have. But the traumas with the that are there, the corporal punishment of religion was absolutely there. That uh, but the mothering that I had in all of that confusion, that's their gift. That's an ancestral gift passed on. Because no
Yeah.
matter what's been on, there's been a strong mothering thread in my line, and so the fact that these babies now can reap that reward. I still haven't got the equation perfect though, because there's the male influence isn't here. In order for me to freely be the mother I'm supposed to be, and for Trina to be the mother she's supposed to be, unfortunately, in the society that we're living in today, it's had to push out a lot of male energy because a lot of male energy wouldn't allow us to have that freedom to the types of mothers we want to be. So this is where you can get that space and that love from the likes of the people in chat and me and Trina and vice versa, Wayne, when we come in spaces like this. And that's the gift of people that we stand on the shoulders of, you know, and bring it forward. So yes, They are blessed, and they are abundant. They never know a day without love.
It's
Even in
it's a
anger.
gift, Jenny. I mean, I have such respect and admiration. In fact, I can say the group and Trina, it would start with you and Jenny, since we're here each week, is that I have found, and I was telling Lynn this not too long ago, there's more of a divine feminine energy here of a nature that most people they don't experience. They don't see it.
Because
And
you're
we
given
have
this.
it here in abundance. I think it's
Yeah,
one of the
but that's.
reasons why we prosper as this group.
Yeah, but you've built that space where your lack was, again, when without you maybe always consciously knowing it, the intricacies of what you've done is you've built a space where me and Trina can come in and the other divine feminine energies, whether that's male or female in the chat, but the divine feminine can come in through both in this space freely and abundantly. So we've where we've got a society surrounding us that clusters that and harnesses it and demonizes it. You've created a space out of you intuitively knowing there was a lack of space for feminine love, for divine feminine
Mm.
nurturing, whether it be the men with the men giving that divine feminine side to each other, to hold each other up, and the women and vice versa, and the men and women together. You've built that space where the divine feminine can flow freely. And that's not easy. We're not easy to contain. So, from that lack, you've actually gone forward and blessed other people with the abundance of divine feminine rather than lack. So you've turned it on its head.
And
Uh,
by the way, someone just in the chat room, I love my mom. You know, when she passed,
mhm.
I was there in the spirit, and it happened with my dad as well, or the one who raised me. Um, I was literally in, it looked like a courtroom setting, but for my dad, I told the assembled group that I had no charge against him, and it allowed him to move on. And my mother, um, her biggest thing was that she carried this burden of always feeling like she had failed. And I had told her that it was just the opposite, in that I said, you actually have done a great thing. So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's amazing how our realities can shift so strongly when seeing things from a different perspective.
yeah. Well, that's where I learned about forgiveness long,
Yeah.
long time ago. You know, you can't keep hate, you can't keep resentment, you can't keep anger. Those things will just rob you of life, and your departure will be a sad one.
Yeah.
yeah,
And so I'm
yeah. It's
still
amazing.
that kid that, you know, a true hippie that, found life to be, it didn't have to be, you didn't have to color inside the lines. You know,
Yeah,
you can go ahead and color out here. They
Right.
never, they never
And
tell you that.
not
Oh,
get in trouble.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I got to tell you, this and this group has, for myself, allowed so much healing because, I used to be one who always felt that because of the environment that I grew up in, it was always one of chastisement, being talked down to and talked, and you develop this self-talk that ends up like you and I were talking, Trina, before we started. We actually become Satan. We end up accusing ourselves.
Yes.
self-fulfilling
I think
prophecy.
it's,
Yeah, yeah,
yes. And I think
yeah,
it's the big thing we're struggling with humanity right now is our pride, our image, our false image, all of these things that we've been forced into. And because it's so big, you don't see it.
yeah,
No, you just don't see it. And there truly is apparently nothing outside of ourself. It's all as above, so below, so within, as without. It's all connected.
Yeah, and so I just learned to stop being the accuser and I started being the
Loving.
favored. You know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love you.
It's like, hey, dude, when I look at myself in the mirror, I sometimes laugh because I go, what a life.
Yes.
I mean,
What a
seriously, it's
ride.
like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's like,
And to
geez,
shift from self-hate and condemnation and all these things that we told ourselves that we weren't good enough, maybe we weren't worthy, maybe we didn't do enough, believe enough, try hard enough. All that goes away when you start to realize that you are a part of the love of the universe and that love would never stop loving you, and that it's so much bigger than anything you could ever experience in a human body, kind of breaks it on its face. And you realize, no, there's nothing they can do for me not to be loved. It's part of my essence. And the doubt that I have about myself are the influences of this place. It's not
yeah.
even real.
I remember when I learned to create that bubble.
Mhm.
And I created that bubble of love, and love has the ability to absorb anything that's counter to it and literally alter it's
Changes
the
matter.
epitome of alchemy.
Yeah, changes matter.
It does.
Yes.
It literally
Yes.
changes freaking matter.
Changes matter.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. Um,
It is. Yeah.
yeah.
That's the best part. That's where you get the spontaneous healing. That's where you see the miracles. You're literally changing the matter through your focused
It still
alchemy.
blows my mind.
Me too.
It really does. I think the older I get, the more in awe I become. It's because I'm figuring out that I don't know if I have any of it figured out, but I do know
Right.
this. I know with friends and family like you two and this group, um, that's an accomplishment. I mean, so I had this dream and I call them these angels. They have followed me all my life. They come to me in my dreams. But one said that the scales have been weighed and you look at what we have here, and this is what they said, what this channel has created is that it's a representation of the essences of those of us who have come together. And this is a
Yes.
place of love. It's a place of learning, compassion, growing, healing.
Yeah.
That's not
And
bad. That's not a bad
remembering,
legacy.
yeah, and remembering the mystical part of ourself that's been so
Yeah.
carefully hidden.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
look at you two and I'm in awe all the time of your knowledge and your experience that I can live vicariously when I tap into you two, but it's still fascinating to me because you've taught me, a whole different perspective of the same neutral space that we occupy. And I thank you both for it.
And I thank you because I feel the
You're pretty
same.
good
And
looking gals anyway, on top of that.
but Wayne, thank you because you show me parts of my own consciousness that I'm not aware of that I really need to look at. And that's huge for me. And it creates more evolution in my consciousness. So you're doing the same. Thank you.
Well, you're a groovy chick too, so I mean, you really got it going.
Groovy dude, Wayne.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
But
And,
That's
and
the
it's
way.
I mean, and Jenny, I look at you, I remember what has it been? I mean, I'm trying
uh,
to,
Susie Q. Susie Q made
yeah,
it happen. Um
Susie
and that,
Q,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah, Susie Q absolutely made it happen. And Susie Q was really there for me out of nowhere. Same birthday day, just synchronicities abound. And she was there for me at that time out of nowhere, just from finding my channel, I think. But she didn't realize that I'd actually listened to you years previously, but I wasn't even that great. I didn't even have a YouTube account not long before I set up my YouTube account. I just used to watch without signing in. Like I couldn't comment or anything. That's how that's how like I'm proud of myself for that. And it was bad, you know, it was
I did
pretty
that too,
dire.
Jenny. I was watching Leak Project and all this stuff for
Yeah,
years
all the
before I
adverts were
ever
allowed to
signed in.
bombard me, you know, like I didn't have any subscriptions because I couldn't click on subscribe, you know, so all of that. So she reminded me of so it was like a coming home,
Yeah.
before I even known I'd left. So yeah, it was Susie Q, and Theo was just a baby.
Yeah.
He was a baby. He was a
Yeah,
baby. So
he
and
was.
now. So, yeah, it's been but you know, it's the place is hurting. The horror and the terror and the space around us is hurting, and we're in such a repetitive cycle of a lack of love, whether that be through politics, religion, communities. Everything is encouraging lack of love and lack of empathy. So to have these spaces where people can not only build knowledge and wisdom, but just share, like you say, absolute transformative love is no joke either. It's a holding ground. It's a creating pillars in the building, you know, to help recalibrate the scales somewhat because you know people are really hurting due to these cycles we allow to keep repeating, and these cycles we could go into it for hours can only ever repeat where there is lack of love. Because any politician coming out with a law that would hurt one type of peoples and not another, if there is love there between those two peoples, it ain't gonna happen. Any type of religious creed, same goes. Every type of king or queen creed, you know, same goes. If there's love between the differences, if there's love between the individuals and the differences that they hold, not in spite of, because of a championing of the differences, then actually this is exactly what that space needs. So wherever that's represented, if it's physically represented here, know that it's again no um made up saga, that we are meeting in spirit regularly. You know, I saw a box being placed in the forest this week leading up to today. Um, and in that box, there's something individual for each person. I know it when we go in there to open it, that it'll be something that each person needs to see, but it's birthed from the same orb, which is love. And that love is going to superimpose whatever needs to be superimposed on that person, the seer, the observer of it. So to build these spaces and spaces like this, know that your spirit is building spaces, like Trina said, as above, so below, as within, so without. And the more we witness each other, love each other and love ourselves, it just grows. It doesn't. So this space is really special, and
It
it
is.
really is. And you need a safe space for knowledge like this to be able to come out in a loving frequency. It's so important, isn't it, Theo? Huh? With this,
I got this song on my head. Where is the love that you said was mine till the end of time? Anyway,
We got to create it, Wayne. We got to create
we
it.
got to, you
This
know?
is what we're learning is that all these reflections that support and sustain our reality, we're making them. So if we can change this too. We do have that power.
And there's
Yeah.
this group has taught me as well is that we have such a diverse um, opinion and we have diverse backgrounds, but what I find interesting is that many of us have shared the same path.
Yes. And we're all
yeah,
looking to
Yeah,
find truth, the
yeah,
truth that resonates for us.
yeah.
And we're all seeking to be better participants in this world that we're existing in. And we're finding our ways to do that through each other. So thank you all for being here. And I love you so much.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, you're
Yeah.
far out. We love
Yeah.
you. Thank you for loving
Yeah.
us.
And thank
Um,
you for being here.
that's what I'm saying. Hey, Theo, how's school, by the way?
oh,
Uh,
doesn't like this.
it's like,
Please
dude,
be
man,
honest.
don't bring me down.
Yes,
Don't bring me
he's always,
down.
When we're talking about love, he brought me
yeah,
from
he's like, oh.
to heavy metal, didn't
Don't
he?
bring me down. Theo's
What's
going,
the
man,
video?
I was in a groovy place and then you had to spoil the buzz. Oh, I love all of you. Theo, by the way, you know, you have a really cool mom. You know that, right? She
Yeah,
is
we
the
do.
best. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Thank
Theo,
you.
here, I'll just tell you from another dude's perspective, you really got favor on your life because you have a mother who really loves you.
Yeah.
And that's pretty special, dude. So that makes you a special dude as well.
Yeah,
Yes. And
you
one
are
that is
special.
worthy of love.
So carry
Oh,
on.
so worthy. I couldn't fill him up enough for his worthiness of it. But I'm glad that he knows it.
Yeah.
That it pleases me. I find that difficult sometimes with Will's different spectrum existence. I have to find a different way to meet that.
Oh, Jenny,
Um,
have you seen the telepathy tapes that have been hitting the internet lately?
no, I haven't been, apart
You
from
need to,
doing
you
stuff on the
need
website, haven't seen anything this week.
go on YouTube and search out the telepathy tapes. They're about autistic children and how to speak to them with different ways, and your child speaks and all that. But this is going to
Thank
be really good for you to watch because it's all these kids that are nonverbal and how their
you.
abilities are off the charts.
That's it. He got into another program this week, the Young Leaders program. And so that's another one of like out of thousands he's gotten handpicked and so he's in that now and
I love it.
so no, not that one. This is on so he's excelling and me and him are like that. It's just a different way where but for me, who wants to just say, oh, and squeeze and smell them, it's me that finds the difficulty more than Will. Will knows he's loved. It's
Oh,
me that has
yeah.
to find restraint to not invade his personal space because
Yeah.
he walks away and I'm literally like, just want to,
Want to
Like,
get you.
this where Theo
Mom,
lets me do it. Yeah,
man,
Theo
you're
lets me play
embarrassing
with
me.
him.
Yeah.
Will's just like,
Uh,
no,
I tell you, I love
hey.
all of y'all.
Love you too.
Yeah. Theo, you're definitely part of the tribe here. Just want to
Yeah.
let you know that.
Yeah.
Let's try. Yeah, dude.
You got a lot of friends
Mhm.
here, Theo, all over the
Yeah.
world. Just
Yeah.
look at here. They're all they
Mm.
really love you, dude. So, man, you got it going.
Yeah. Global
It's
love for Theo.
All right. Well, ladies, another fabulous time together. It goes by so quick.
Yeah. It
It really
does.
does. Yeah. Um,
Mm.
hey, Susie
yes.
Q, all because of you.
Because of
All
I
because of
love
you,
you,
yeah.
Susie. You know.
I
Um,
do love Susie.
yep. As Lindsay says, part of the family, Theo.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone lost
Mhm.
in. And I love
Mm.
that because I don't share pictures of the children, like on social media and stuff. I don't do that. I
Yeah.
used to, and then I realized I'd been being naive as to what it was, and I needed to let them choose when they were old enough whether they wanted to what data to share and what not, So I stopped when they were quite young. So when I send you guys pictures or send mom pictures or Rose, there's a very select few that get to see us in the candid moments.
Yeah.
But uh, here it's just so comfortable for him to be able to join in as well. And it's because that doesn't happen anywhere else. Literally online, that doesn't happen anywhere else where I'll allow him to be a part of it and read comments and stuff because I can trust the people with Theo, which
Yes.
says so much to the caliber of the people here,
Mhm.
um,
Absolutely.
more than I would
It's
in
like being in a
local.
big family den area. We got the fire going. Theo and the kids are playing, and the
Yeah.
rest of us are drinking hot
All watching out
cocoa.
for him.
Yeah, or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's a
That too.
relaxed conversation. You got your shoes off, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah,
that's okay. If we can't have it here, we can build it over there. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny. I think we've already done this because we are all finding each other in dream time, in the astrals. We're seeing each other now. And I think that's because we really have already built that.
Yeah.
And our connection here has reconnected us to our connection that we have there. And I
And we
think it's
already
a
got an advanced party up there. I
yeah.
mean, I know.
Brains were
Yeah, they're like, yeah. We're waiting up there, but I'm sure their time is probably far less. All right, everybody, we love you. What time is it over in your neighborhood? 7 o'clock, Jenny, or is it 8?
It's 7 o'clock now. Yeah, five past
Okay,
seven.
yeah,
Wants to
okay.
answer. Who do you want to speak to? Bonnie. Bonnie. Where?
What's up with Bonnie? Hi, Bonnie.
Bonnie. What does Theo like to do? You're answering. No, what about parkour
What do
hardcore?
you
You
like to
answer,
do,
Bonnie.
Theo?
You're not shy. I have a best friend. He loves to do parkour, Bonnie. He says parkour hardcore, and that's like where you jump from the sofa to the chair to the, and you do it with style. So it's like, when you see people jumping around buildings, he's practicing for that. Wait until you see me when I'm at school. Wait till you see him when he's at school. Hardcore parkour, Bonnie. But then you went to the horses the other day, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah, and he was helping at the stables to muck out and stuff. And tell Wayne and Trina and Bonnie what you decided, that you're the emotional horse support. Yeah. So he
oh,
said, I've changed
Oh,
my mind. Instead of the
yeah.
physical horse support, I'll be the emotional horse support. I'll just come and pat them when you're all finished. So
yeah.
he's decided that mucking out is not his thing. Also, I have Ponybug. He's going to be Ponybug. He's going to be emotional support rather than physical support of the horses from now on. Which fair dues, he knows what he likes, Bonnie. But he mucked out and he said his legs felt like jelly, and he didn't need to repeat that. So you're going to be the emotional support. So he carved out a role that didn't previously exist. So he likes the horses, but he doesn't want to do the mucky part. Also, don't allow me to drive a wheelbarrow. And he doesn't. The wheelbarrow was a difficult thing. You did nearly drop it in the stream, but you're only little. You did well.
But Theo, I can tell you what, horse manure is far better than cow manure.
Yeah, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean,
Well, get my cowboy hat. Okay. He's just getting something for Bonnie. Quick as you can, because Wayne and Trina have got to go. He's
That's
just
adorable.
grabbing some. So yeah, he didn't just say, I don't want to go to the horses again. He carved out a whole role that he could see himself in, not getting. Like, come on, then you can bring it. This is what his nanny made him to copy one of the games that him and his nanny played. It's like a cowboy set in. So she stitched him up this but he's had it for years now. You got that? Come here then. Okay. And you can show these peoples know
Right
what it should
on.
look like. too. Yeah, so his nanny stitched him this
Oh,
up to look
that's
love
put
it.
on
cool.
the
That's
it's like
cool.
an old raggedy, cowboy hats. But he steals my cowboy hats too.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's got personality.
Yes, it does.
It
Oh, the
does.
horse would love it.
It's far out,
Close to
dude.
Yeah,
I'll
love
tell
it.
you,
yeah.
makes me want to be able to get us all together because I love horses. Trina,
I,
you love
Yeah.
horses. I mean, everyone in this group, I'm sure, loves horses.
I'd
Does
yeah.
love to
anyone
see you.
not love horses?
I love them. I'm not getting on them, but I
They're
love them.
magnificent creatures. They really are. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting because the gods all love horses. I mean, they don't carry
Yeah.
a cow,
I'm gonna think too. I think it was a symbol of strength,
It
spiritual
is,
strength.
yeah.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah,
I've
it
often
is.
always wanted to know if Pegasus really existed.
I have visions of it, and that was way before I knew anything about it. And I really do think that there
If
was.
I can believe dragons exist, then I can believe
Maybe
that a
not here,
Pegasus exists.
but maybe here
I
because I wonder.
absolutely
You
believe
know,
that.
those old Tartarian maps that they
Hmm.
showed. There's pictures of different animals in different territories, and a lot of them look like dragons and Pegasus. So
Yes,
I
they
think
do.
that might be in a different realm or a different dimension or a different timeline. But one way or another, I think a lot of these mythical creatures, we actually, this is coming from our remembering of them.
And I don't
And I
Mhm.
think
think
they're
that
extinct.
I
no,
don't
they're
either.
not. And
No,
minuscule
I don't
amount of
either.
density between any one species here, a minuscule
exactly.
amount. And we see these idols with the Pegasus, the horses with wings. DNA wise, that's not too far out there for even evolution to dwindle it down, yes, or some interference
Yeah,
to
see?
dwindle it down, or
I mean, the
environments.
movie, The Clash of the Titans, I love the
Yeah.
fact that Zeus's son, that was a beautiful Pegasus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Solid black. Oh, man.
And
Yeah.
look at happening now, the rediscovering and not rediscovering at all. The plates are shifting and different animals are coming up from the deep of the ocean for us to discover, like the volcanic sharks. And we'll say, oh, we've just discovered them. And it's like, no, they're as old as
I think they've
time.
always
It was
been
just,
here.
But we just forgot.
Yeah, yeah. They're knocking back on the door going, "Hey, y'all remember us?"
Yeah,
Hmm.
wake up.
Yeah.
Start
Yeah.
remembering. Remember who you are. Remember what you've come from. Yeah.
Yeah. Billy says, "Yeah, we did a
like
thing
you're
on
picturing
the
the volcanic
Tartarians."
shark. You want to litter these waters, do you? You want to throw plastic in these waters? Can you imagine the volcanic sharks coming up from their ancient depths and finding plastic in the ocean? Because they're really intelligent. They're like super intelligence, these sharks. They can't figure out how intelligent yet. They're so,
Well, Jake the Dragon said that the intelligence that we had when we were at one time amphibious has been transferred to the turtles, to the whales, the ocean life that we,
My past life in Atlantis, Wayne, that's what they were showing me.
yeah, that they
Is that
transferred
we
this
were
to them.
transferring human consciousness into the aquatic species. I totally saw that. That's
Yep.
amazing.
and
Wow.
Rosie is a whale. And that sounds awful when I say it in like a 3D term, but Rosie, my daughter, I've said to you, Trina, before, and you've agreed that she's a whale. When I
Yeah.
look at her consciousness, all I see is a whale's eye. It's the depths of her knowledge and wisdom, and still she has the same problems of sometimes not quite remembering who and what she is in this
Yeah.
existence. But then you see those points where she goes back to source and she's just a whale. She absolutely speaks to me of whale consciousness. And I do feel like Trina's described that interaction between the two of planting those, putting this egg of consciousness in a safe space, and then transferring it back and forth has been a constant osmosis between different species and us.
Yeah, I'm
I
all
do.
over that. I mean,
Mhm.
when we were in Hawaii, being able to touch the dolphins when we were out on the catamaran, smart creatures. Anyway,
Oh,
love
yes.
y'all. Thank everyone. We really went over, but hey, this is what family does. We get to talk. So, Lauren, we love you too.
Hi.
Lauren, if you want to come on with the ladies, let me know. Would y'all? I'd love to
That'd be
have
fun.
Lauren
I
on. Wouldn't that?
love Lauren. I'm like, come
Yes.
on,
Yeah,
girlfriend.
Lauren. Okay,
Come
girl.
on. Come
So,
on.
Lauren, you need to come on next Tuesday. That's all I'm saying, hon. And we won't say you can't say no. I'm just saying.
The
I
seat's
can see.
already
I
warm.
bet you she's blushing right now. I mean,
Ah,
I can see
it
that.
gets easier. Yes, it's all right. It gets
Yeah,
easier.
yeah. So there you go. And listen, any ladies, guys, I know there's a lot of you that like to come on, but particularly with the ladies, just let us know. We'd love to have you on. And I guess if we had to
Wayne's a little biased.
Yeah.
just a little bit, just a little bit. No.
A tiny bit. A tiny
See,
bit.
it's like just a little bit.
It's
All
like
right,
how much pudding
everybody.
can you fit in?
And
No.
you see, I knew it, Lauren. I could see your cheeks is absolutely bright red. And she says, I'm bright red all
I
over.
can
Yeah,
feel it in my heart. And I can feel it.
I
Oh,
did.
that's
I mean,
so
I could
funny.
sense it. I'm getting the whole thing too. It's
Me
like,
too. I could
yeah,
feel it
it's
make my nose run,
contagious.
and I'm like, I could feel the heat.
Uh, and Nina says, Nina, we'd love to have you as
I
well.
love it.
You know,
Oh
Oh,
God,
so
y'all
all
making me
right.
cry.
Much love, everybody. We'll